now, just so you're aware. All right, so welcome to our Hispanic Heritage Month event, Plática con las Muralistas. We're going to have Mónica Marie Garcia, Sandra Gonzalez, and Mayra Zamora. All three ladies are alumni from Texas A&M University Corpus Christi, and we're so excited to feature them once again this year. My name is Andrea Montalvo-Hamid. I'm a professional assistant professor of English at Texas A&M University Corpus Christi. I'm also the Hispanic Heritage Month coordinator and committee chair. So it is my pleasure to welcome you. I want to take some time to thank our sponsors, Flint Hills Resources and HEB. Normally we would have this type of event in person. However, in order to promote public health and safety, we are having a virtual event because we do not want to be responsible for exposing people to the virus. We want to be as safe as possible. So what we're going to do is each muralista is going to take about 10 to 15 minutes to share their work and talk about their aesthetic and inspiration. If at any moment you have a question, definitely put it in the chat so you don't forget it, but there will be time for Q&A at the end. And I'm also going to put the full list of Hispanic Heritage Month events in the chat, and I'll remind you about it again at the end. So thanks for joining us. I'm going to pass it over to Mónica Marie Garcia, and she will share her work with you.
All right. Yes. Hi there. Thank you all so much for joining us today and this evening. And yes, it's very exciting to be able to do this for Hispanic Heritage Month, but also to be able to do this and talk about our work and hope that it kind of gives you a little bit of insight into the way that, you know, our daily lives work, and then also like just being an artist, what that's about. One thing that I want to make sure that I hope that I get across to you guys is the fact that, you know, being an artist is kind of like this, I feel like it's almost taboo because everybody always kind of discourages you from being an artist because it's like, oh, well, you know, it's not going to make enough money, or is that the only thing you do, or is that like, so this is your hobby, so what else, you know? And so I want to make sure that I let you know that no, it is very possible, and that is what we do. So just to kind of introduce myself again, my name, of course, is Mónica Marie Garcia. I am alumni from Texas A&M University. I have my MFA, my Master of Fine Arts, and although the majority of the things I mean, I could do all sorts of mediums, and I work with all mediums, but for the most part, I love to favorite thing. I am also a printmaker, but I consider myself a muralist and artist because of the fact that I do large-scale paintings for businesses and for personal businesses, personal people's homes. And so that's one thing that is really amazing for me, that I get to do that. And so just a little bit about background, I guess I can tell you, is that I have been painting and working as an artist for probably about 20 years now, which is kind of crazy when I say it. Because 20 years is a very long time, but that's like the majority of my life. And I always knew I wanted to be an artist. I always knew that that was definitely, I was gonna make sure that I did that. And even though like I got discouraged a little bit, like I started doing other things because people were like saying like, you know, art's not gonna make money, blah, 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 you know. But I'm so glad I stuck with it, and I'm really glad that I kept on going because I truly, truly enjoy it. I love to be able to spread that and to make things colorful, and I'm super grateful even to be able to work with Mayra and Sandra, and the fact that we even all met and how we worked together so well. So that is truly a blessing, truly a blessing. Just a few things about like my aesthetic and the things that I like to paint and the reasons why I like to paint those things. For me, if you ever, well, even like the things I like to buy. I mean, I love to buy like really shiny things and really like bold prints, and I love like really colorful things. And so when it comes to my paintings, I try to do the same thing. A lot of my paintings are usually like high heels and lipsticks and pearls and really amazing like bright things. And I love to paint shiny things. If you get to know me, you know I love shiny things. So even like when Mayra and Sandra and I work together, I'm always like, oh, make sure I get to paint the shiny things. And so so those are things that, and I'll go ahead and show y'all a couple of my pieces. that I have paintings of mine that I've done in the past. And so that way you can kind of see just a little bit of like some of the work that I do. This is one of the ones that I did a few years ago. It was part of my MFA exhibition. Again, as you notice, I love to do pearls. And those are actually a pair of high heels that I do own. I actually did buy those in Italy when I did a study abroad there. And of course, oops. Oh, I might have got myself out of there. Oh no. Did I lose y'all? Oh,
no.
Goodness.
We hear you.
I think y'all can still hear me? Okay, good. Except I don't know where you went. Sorry. Oh, no, there it is. Okay. My goodness. Okay. Sorry about that. So yes, so another piece I just wanted to show y'all really quick too is another painting of mine that is pretty special to me. When it comes to even painting portraits, these are some friends of mine, grad students that I went to school with. And so I really enjoy, you know, painting people as well. That's one thing that is, you know, that I don't get to do nearly enough. I find that it's kind of something that only gets to happen every once in a while. But I do a lot of like dog portraits. So when it comes to commissions and stuff, I do that as well. And I do have a few other pieces that I wanted to show you. If you'd like to look at more of my artwork, it is, you can always check out my Instagram at shiningstar2mg. And I post quite a bit of stuff there and a lot of things that I do. But I did want to kind of, like I said, I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about how as an artist, I maintain being a working artist. So not only, of course, do we do murals, but I also am an educator. So I work with K-Space Contemporary and we teach, and actually I say we because Mayra and Sandra, we all work at K-Space. And we teach, myself and Mayra actually do the senior outreach. And so we actually go to senior centers and to schools, and we teach about art. We talk about art. We also do the summer mural arts program. All three of us actually do that, and so we get to actually teach kids the mural process, which is really, really awesome. And it's actually really cool because they're teens. I always feel like teens kind of get like the boot. They never really get a chance to be able to have programs. So I'm really glad that we get to show them that. And then of course, I also teach private lessons. I am a private art teacher, and I also do like fun like painting classes, like the wine and paint kind of classes. I've been doing that for about 12 years now, and I do privately. So that's one thing that's just kind of even the side hustle in a sense. But then I have a bunch of other side hustles. And so I am a window painter. I am a chalkboard artist, and I do face painting, I do henna, I do body painting. And again, like I mentioned a little earlier, I do commissions of all sorts, and I talk, I mean, I do, you know, stuff like dog portraits and cat portraits, or, you know, family portraits. And so that's actually one thing. I think I might actually have an example for y'all. Let me see if I can get one for you. And so I just wanted to kind of like talk a little bit, actually, okay, well, actually this is not a dog portrait, but one of my window paintings. If you would go by House of Rock here in Corpus Christi, you can actually see some of the windows. We changed them actually quite a bit. And so I'm really grateful that Casey Lane there at House of Rock gives me the opportunity to be able to paint his windows quite a bit. So that's really fun. I also wanted to show you one other little thing that I did here. Let me see, where's it at? And so I also work with the schools quite a bit. This is the what do you call it? This is the chalk, I mean chalk, the I can't even think of the word. What is it? Like a concrete top. There you go. Sorry. A concrete top that I did at Luther Jones Elementary. It is a very, very large concrete slab that I worked on. And it's oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, I keep having malfunctions here. Can y'all still hear me? I think I might have lost you. Oh no. I think I lost y'all. Did I lose y'all?
We hear you, Mommy.
Okay, I was like, I don't know what when I exit out, so I apologize. I'm using my phone because I can't seem to get it to connect on my laptop. So I apologize for the, you know, the lag and the delay, and also because I'm having to like change it as I as I do it. So I apologize, guys. But yes, so I was going to try to show you a picture, but I'm scared to do it now. But anyway, I will go ahead and just continue. But one of the things that I did want to mention that is very important, especially being an artist and supporting the arts, one thing that I think is super important, especially in our community, and also to kind of create, I think even it creates the culture. When you support artists and you support the culture of artists, it really does strengthen the community. I really think that it kind of it makes everybody feel a little bit more like they're a part of something. And so when you do support the arts and you buy from artists and you buy their or you attend their shows, it's just a really nice sense of community. And I really think that that's something that I know that the three of us really do try to make it to a lot of events. We try to be at all the openings, and we try to go to like everything, because that is important to the persons that all put it together. It takes a lot of work to put these events together, and there's a lot of people that are involved in it. And so to be able to support the artists and to be there for those events is really wonderful. And so if anything that you get out of anything that I spoke today, I really hope that you guys try to be more part of those things. Like, try to go and reach out into the community and look for where those artists are doing things, because honestly, that's where you'll start to find really great people, and you'll find some really amazing things. And I think it opens up your mind to all kinds of culture, and it also makes you a little bit more, I guess, aware of even just like what it takes to be an artist, and how much we do put into it, and how much we truly love it. So I hope that if anything that you get that from what I speak about today. Of course, if you have any questions, please ask me at any point, and of course we can talk at the end. But I did want to just mention too that I'm very grateful to be able to work with Sandra and Mayra, because of the fact that even though we do separate things and we have our own things, that we still work together really well. Like, I just feel that our I don't know, all of our different personalities and aesthetics like work so well that it just kind of creates this amazingness together. And so I'm really quite grateful for that. And I want y'all to know, thank y'all girls. Thank y'all so much. And so I think that kind of concludes what I wanted to speak about again today. Again, I did want to just mention that if you want to be an artist, if this is something that you are interested in doing, but it is a lot of work. It is certainly a lot of work, but it doesn't feel like work, because every day is different for me. Every day I'm at a different spot. Sometimes I'm inside, sometimes I'm outside, sometimes I'm laying down on the ground trying to work or sign a painting, so that you just never know. Or sometimes we're 40 feet up in the air. So it's a really amazing lifestyle. I think it's definitely it ain't for the faint of heart. I think that you truly need to have some sort of a backbone as well, because you will, of course, get discouraged, because there will be plenty of people that won't think that it deserves what it deserves, or it deserves how much it costs, or anything like that. But you got to keep going, and that's what I think that we fight for, and that's one thing that I'm very proud of as an artist to be able to do. And so that's all I can say about that. I really hope that you guys enjoy the rest of this evening. I'm gonna go ahead and pass it on to Miss Sandra. And
Monique, can you pass it to me real quick? Because some people are trying to get in. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I'm getting emails that they can't get in. They're trapped.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, let me just admit these people, and then I will pass it over to our next presenter, Sandra. Thank you so much, Monica, for starting us off. Let me let these people in real quick. If you're just joining us, we ask that you mute yourself. If you have questions at any time, please put them in the chat. Let me let these people in. All right, so I'm going to pass it over now to our second speaker, Sandra Gonzalez. And then, Sandra, after you're finished, if you could pass it back to me in case I need to let anyone else in.
Yes.
So I shall make you the host now.
All right, guys. Hello. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We really appreciate it. So this is just a little bit about my background. I went to Texas A&M Corpus Christi. I got my Master's of Arts degree back in 2011. Then I received an MFA degree from the Pennsylvania Academy of Fine Arts. And I'm a full-time art teacher. I recently moved to San Antonio and I'm working at Roosevelt High School. This is my 7th year of teaching, and I'm also a full-time muralist. For the last 6 years, I have been painting murals. So I feel very fortunate, even though it's very, I'm always busy, but it has been a wonderful experience for these past years to share, what I have learned in my journey as a muralist in several cities. So I'm gonna show you some examples of that. And this is some of the work that I did at Texas A&M University Corpus Christi while I was doing my Master's of Arts degree. And I want, all I wanted to do was to paint portraits of my family, and just to reflect the heritage, culture, and just some of the, our colorful surroundings. Right when I graduated, I was encouraged by my late professor, Bruno Andrade, to continue and to pursue my MFA degree. So I went for it. That was my first time being very far away, from Texas. I went all the way to Philadelphia. So that was the school where I went. It was a great experience. I was there for 2 years. And as soon as I graduated, I started working for the City of Philadelphia MuralArts program. And I started as an assistant. So I was working for Betsy Casañas, and you can see one of her beautiful murals. And I came in a very good time, because when I came in, and she was working on this amazing city block mural. So I was just amazed, and she needed, she needed help. So after I was doing an internship. So right after that, she hired me, as being like her full-time assistant. So she asked me that I needed to get my license for driving heavy equipment. So I was a little hesitant, because at the time I didn't even know how to drive a car, and I was already around 27 years old. So I really wanted the job, so I didn't tell anyone. So the aerial lift that you see there, I had to parallel park it in one of those busy streets. I was very nervous, but I was praying the whole time, and I was able to accomplish it. So I was there in Philadelphia working for the program for a little bit over a year. I got to do my own mural in an elementary school. Then I started feeling homesick, because, as you know, Philadelphia is nothing like South Texas. I was always freezing, in the winter. The last winter that I spent there was a blizzard. So I said, well, I don't want to spend another winter over here. So I went back to Laredo. So I started working there as an art teacher at JB Alexander High School. Then, so my first year was just, getting used to all the routine of being an art teacher in the high school. So it was overwhelming, and so I was all like about teaching. Then my second year, that's when I had the opportunity to create a mural. So I did it with my students. This is at North Central Park. And that was the collaboration. So I did it with another art teacher, Erica Montello. And that was really, really cool, a really nice experience. We painted directly on the wall. And during that time, that's when I find out about the opportunity to paint the Color Times building. So it was an open call, it was a contest. And this is what I was working during the time. So I was working with symmetry, like native plants, native animals. So I said, it would be really cool to make something, huge, that kind of reflects, some of the Mexican flowers, bordados and animals and whatnot. So I decided to be inspired by what I was working on, and that's how I created the Color Times mural. And I was super happy when I got selected because I mean, it was scary too because I was teaching full time, living in Laredo, and I had to do this mural, in Corpus. So, but I was able to do it, and I used a technique that you're about to see, what I learned in Philadelphia. So this technique allows for people to paint anywhere. So it is very convenient. And they do it in Philadelphia because of the harsh winter. So whenever they can now be outside on the buildings, which is almost like 8 months of purely like snowing days. And so that's why they decided to do this technique. So to paint indoors. And then once the weather got better, they went out and installed it. So this is what I did, and I was very thankful to the Art Center, Corpus Christi, and also a K-Space Contemporary Art Gallery. They let me host a community painting event. So that was a really good experience. I was able to invite the community, and Monica, like she came to, one of the events, Mayra too. And so that was really awesome because it was kind of like, at the time, like I feel like we were touching up, it was really nice. So so that became a traveling mural. So so this picture, if you want to see how the car of a muralist looks, this is it. Like, this is my car. Like, it's always like, most of the time my seats are down, like the back seats. So I do have plastic on the bottom, so it is protected, but this is how it looks, and it makes me feel happy when I see it. So it has been a lot of traveling for the past years. And for the color times, I was able to be reunited, driving the aerial lift. So I was super happy. It really made me feel like a superwoman when every time I put on my harness, my hard hat, and I was driving the machine, it really made me feel very powerful. And then I invited my friend from Philadelphia, Natasha. That's what she does for a living. So I could literally say, she's an expert installing murals. So I said, you know what, I really need the help. And it was awesome because people were surprised to see, two women up on the lift doing all, this hard and messy work, dealing with all this hot glue. I mean, it's like a special glue, very heavy duty. So, we made it, and that's Natasha. You can see it, and we were so happy that the mural was installed. Then I started inviting some of my friends to work, with me on this mural. So on the leaf, there is Malaki, and then over there on the bottom you see Mayra painting all the flowers on the bottom. So it was really nice. We spent many hours working, like every day in the summer. So at the very end, you have to apply a sealer. So that's what's going on in there at the very end. And that was the last day, because even when the leaf was taken away, I still went back and worked on the bottom part of the mural. And this is the picture of the people who helped me, the most, who were more like they're like almost there every day with me. There you have it. And then right after that mural, the color times, I was invited to paint one of these electrical boxes. And this was located right across the exchange, but unfortunately, this box stopped working. So they had to take it down and replace it with a brand new box. So I know right now the downtown management district, they're trying to find a place, a new location for all these non-working boxes. So hopefully they'll find a place. And those are my parents and my niece. And in that, I wanted to include my niece, we're very close. So she was my muse, she was my model for that painting. And over there on that left side, that's my grandmother. Then, and thanks to social media, I mean, social media has always been very helpful. I was posting pictures of this electrical box. So then, Laredo noticed it. So I was living in Laredo. So they say, hey, why you don't paint this box over there at the mall? So that was in downtown. Is the new mall that the outlet shops that they opened back in 2017. So that's and that's what they wanted. So that you see the Johnny Rockets, that it was specifically what they asked, and that's my sister and my niece posing with that picture. Then at school, I try to do murals with my students. I like to teach them about this technique. So that was done back in Laredo when I was teaching, and that was the final final painting right on the left side. You see my niece Kira posing right next to it. But my students were responsible for installing their own piece of fabric. They all painted one, and then they had to install it on their own. Then the following year, I did one at the library, and that one, it was painted by my students, and it was also designed by one of my students. And it was really wonderful just to have, you know, my high school students learning about the process. And then some of these students, like Carlos Grajeda, right now he's in the University of New York, NYU, studying art, and he's, as you can tell, you know, he's an amazing painter. And he painted Frida, and he painted like those two portraits. And this is in Corpus Christi, and was also high school. I was there for 2 years, so I also wanted to add some color, so we did that mural, and this other one in my classroom. Then at K-Space, I really love working for K-Space. They asked me if I could teach the technique that I learned in Philadelphia to paint murals. So the very first mural was done in 2016 doing this technique, and it was a black type roses. So I was a little bit concerned because, you know, that was my first time doing it on a fence, on a wood fence. So I said, oh, let's see if it's gonna last. But thankfully, it's still there, so that's awesome. Then we did this in the summer 2017. I mean, not many people get to see it because it's not very top of a parking garage, but in case if you're, you know, you ever visit one of those buildings downtown and you go upstairs, then it is visible. 2018, we did that one at La Playa restaurant. And last summer, we did this one right outside K-Space. And this year, we couldn't do it, but, you know, we tried to improvise, so we were doing some online activities like a daily studio practice. And then this is a mural that has, we spent a lot of time working on this mural. It was almost like giving birth. So this was like, we spent 9 months, me and Monica. So we were invited. I mean, we were very fortunate because we were invited. It was a very small group of artists that were invited to submit a proposal for this mural. So when Monique and I decided to work together, I said, well, let's work together. No, this is a mural about women. Let's join forces. So we decided to, you know, create a design. It was all a partnership. And Monica, you know, she painted all the shiny things. There was plenty to choose from. So yeah, there was and since it was a huge mural, so we hired our friends. So that was amazing. So that's something that that I feel very very touched, you know, very happy that I have found a group of friends who are amazing painters, and I can rely on them. And there you have, you know, the picture on the left, Miss Mayra Zamora, and we have Monica, you know, and me. And so we really, you know, we work, I was teaching, I was also, so every day after school, I used to work on that mural. And then we also had Eugene Solis, he's the one wearing green, and then Malaki, he's wearing the dark blue. Here you see them. So it was really nice because we all like, we use the strengths, you know, so Eugene, like, he's really good with painting plants, and Malachi as well. So we told them we need help on those succulents. So they helped us a lot. So that was a finished mural and the design. And that's the one on the bottom, on the right side, that's when we signed it. And Monique and I, we were so relieved. And then we had a beautiful unveiling ceremony. And then last year, we worked together. So this was actually our first mural joining forces, you know, the three of us, because we have worked together, you know, me and Mayra in the summer camp, and me and Monica in the YWCA. But this time, you know, this is the time when we, you know, it's all like our ideas, our strengths together on this mural. And it was a really wonderful event. Like maybe some of you attended on the community painting day, and then we had the unveiling ceremony. It was very beautiful. Then right after that, I was invited to paint this mural downtown in Laredo, and as you can see, that's a very tall wall. So I painted. So this happened last summer. So again, you know, I was super happy to drive the area live. And I also invited some of my former students from Laredo to work with me. So there on the left, I see Chris Rivera. He's one of my former students. So that was really neat, you know, to make that. And I also wanted just to say, you know, special thanks to Access Tattoo and Body Piercing. So thanks to Belinda and Bruce Edwards, they let us use the space. So that's the space on the second floor. That's where we do the summer camps, but they also let us paint our murals there. So I'm very thankful for that. So that's there's some pictures of the studio, and it works perfectly. You know, it's a long wall. You know, sometimes, you know, we're working on tables, floor, and the wall, as you can see. So these are just some pictures of the progress and just painting. And this one, since Monica is really good with textures, so I said, Monica, you're perfect for painting the bricks. so that was, yes, that was super intense, because all those bricks that you see now in the mural, those all were painted one by one. And Mayra, she was perfect to help me with all the lettering, like, you know, with all her beautiful straight lines. And that's Natasha. So Natasha came back from Philadelphia to help me with installation. And that's Eugene Solis, again, doing his beautiful flowers. And that was the finished mural. So again, like all those bricks, most people, when they see it, they think it's, you know, it's just a wall. But I told them, oh no, that they were hand painted. And el abrazo, it means, you know, the embrace. So it represents the bond between Laredo and Nuevo Laredo, Mexico. And that's actually a ceremony they do every year, right on the borderline. So it is very meaningful, and I wanted to do that, you know, to represent something positive. Now that, you know, we have all these issues happening, you know, with the border and all that. So this is something uplifting, you know, about both countries. And recently this happened this past 16 de Septiembre. They were amazing. Like, they had these performances right in front of the mural. It was really cool to see it. And this was painted at the beginning of this year. So, but we started the last Day of the Dead, you know, the festival, organized by K-Space and Access Tattoo. So that was painted during the event. It was a little bit crazy because we had a lot of people at once on the table, but we made it work. And that one as well, Mayra helped in the studio, and then Monica helped me with installation and some of the painting. And then there's Malaki Makini as well. And now I'll be working, so this is what I'm working right now. So it's a mural for the Mission San Jose in San Antonio. So I was super thankful because I heard about this open call back in the spring. So I said, you know what, let me just submit something I designed. So all you needed to do was submit your portfolio, and based on your work, they chose the artist. So I was selected. So it was perfect timing because it was right when I was moving to San Antonio, and I already had something, you know, that in progress. So that was really cool. And this is a sneak peek of this mural. So it's a medium size, it's 8 by 20 feet. And I'm including my grandmother on this mural, and she's representing the indigenous people of the Mission San Jose that were there at some point. And I have Eugene Solis, he's helping me paint that window, the one that you see in the center. And it has been on the news already in San Antonio. So it's really cool because now I tell my students, my current students in San Antonio, hey, you know, this is something that I love doing, and it's really neat just to have that opportunity. And my parents, you know, they're my bigger supporters. So they're always so happy whenever there's a story written about me, like on the newspaper about the murals that I have done that they collect. Like my dad, like, he buys like 5 copies every time. So that they have been there, like with me, you know, every step since I was you know, a high school student that love to paint. They have been very supportive, and also my group of friends that have made this possible, because I wouldn't be able to do all this, you know, without this amazing group of friends, and you know, including, you know, Mayra Zamora, Monica. So again, you know, like I share the same feelings as was Monica said. I'm very thankful, you know, that we can work together and that we can join our strengths, and we really have a good chemistry. So, and also I see that Eugene is there. He joined us on the chat. So he's also amazing. So hopefully he's able to help on upcoming murals, and also Malaki McKinney. So I think we really form a really awesome group. So yes, so thank you again. And thanks, Andrea, for inviting us. So now I'm gonna pass it to you, Andrea.
Okay, thank you, Sandra.
You're welcome.
Wait, let me see if anyone is waiting to be let in. And then I will pass it to our final muralist, Mayra. And then we will take questions. As I said earlier, as they're speaking, if you have questions, definitely put them in the chat and we'll make sure to answer them later. Okay, let me see. All right, I'm going to pass it over to Mayra, who unfortunately is used to being last because her name starts with the last letter of the alphabet.
Oh yeah. All right.
All right, so you should be the host now.
All right, guys, we'll go ahead and share my screen. Happy Saturday, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. This is my 4th year doing Hispanic Heritage Month, I think.
Fucking tired.
Say 4, yeah. Okay, let me go ahead and share the screen. Bear with me, I have an old computer. Okay, and present. So do y'all see it, right? Or not yet?
It's loading. Not yet.
Well, it's loading. And I don't know. I have like about 30 slides. I don't think I have too much from 75. All right, here we go, guys. On my screen, it's showing, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today on Plática con las Muralistas. I am the 3rd and final interviewer today. My nickname is Nita Mayra. I'm going to go ahead and start all the way, well, not all the way back to the beginning, but I've been an artist all my life. I've been doing art probably since I was 4 or 5 years old. I grew up in Tivoli, Texas, and I was there from kindergarten all the way to 12th grade. And I was very fortunate that I had Mr. Garza all the way from kinder to 12th grade. So he really encouraged me and told my parents that this is a potential future that I could have. Let me see. And then here, and I always like to share that I graduated with a girl class. And people don't believe me, but there's my proof right there. It was only 9 girls. And because it was such a small school, my teachers were able to let me find me a scholarship, which let me go and pursue higher education. So I actually started and went to University of Garnet Ward. And then I ended up moving to A&M Corpus Christi. So I moved to Corpus Christi, I believe in the fall of 2006. So these are some of my earlier works that I did. As you can see, it has nothing to do with my work today. It's completely different. These are just the beginning of the shows that I started doing. I had no idea what I was doing, but like what Monica was saying, you just got to basically put yourself out there. A lot of the stuff is, I'm not gonna lie, is fake it till you make it. So sometimes like, oh yeah, sure, I can do that. But sometimes I have no idea. But while I was at the university, I was able to develop my style and come up with my codex. And I was very fortunate to have my late professor, Bruno Andrade. And I'm a true believer in representation matters, because when I presented these works to him, I said, I want to turn my family into calavera forms. He understood where I was coming from. So I was able to keep doing more of this work. And then I also would like to pay tribute to K-Space, because if it wasn't for K-Space and every year they do Dia de los Muertos, I don't know if someone's mic is on, but make sure you are mute, please. And then for K-Space, oh, sorry, I lost my train of thought. For K-Space, I started vending, I believe, in 2007, 2008. Also had no idea what I was doing. If you can see from the photo, if you look at it, you've never seen those work because I actually started doing abstract because I had no idea. I had never really worked with paint. So it was a lot of fun. And because of K-Space, it allowed me to work with the community. So I've been working with the Garcia Center since 2011, so almost a decade, teaching and being an educator with these kids. So I get to teach 3-year-olds all the way to senior citizens. And now I'm blessed and fortunate to travel. And, you know, people have hired me to go to Houston, to go to Austin. And hopefully I can, now with virtual teaching, that I get to do some stuff out, maybe teach some stuff in Los Angeles. And then I'm most known for my Chicano pop style, which also started because of Dia de los Muertos with the mosaic shows. So this is when I feel like I kind of found my aesthetic now. And I have so much fun. Yes, I say it's so much fun, but I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot of work doing these straight lines with no painter's tape, y'all. And people are always like, you don't use painter's tape? I'm like, no. So my lines have gotten a little bit more straighter. It's, as I like to say, it's the illusion of perfection. And then here, 2016 is probably when my life started to change. This is, if you look at the one at the Mercat mural, there's Sandra, me, and Monica all right there lined up. So I want to say that's probably one of our first pictures, probably painting together. So it was in 2016, Sandra had invited me to come and participate and be her assistant for the Colored Times. So I was like, oh yes, for sure. Did I know what I was doing? No, yet again. But I always tell Sandra I feel like I was her first student because she was kind of teaching me how to do the technique, which was a lot of fun. And then me and Moni had a summer camp together. She was teaching printmaking and I think I was teaching painting. So we were just like, you know what? Let's do a mural. So that's actually a paper mural called Mosh Pit. And if you pay attention, it's from abstracts to figurines. So those are actually all of our silhouettes on top of each other. So we traced our bodies over and over, and it created a really cool composition. I think these are probably thrown away because they ended up being at the frescoes windows, so they probably are in the trash. But so cool to, always take a picture, always post it on social media so you can keep it forever. But that wasn't my first taste of murals. My first taste of mural was for the Loteria that K-Space yet again did again. So I'm so grateful for K-Space. And I ended up doing 2. So I'm one of the few who has 2 Loteria cards. Mine is El Sol and La Tabla. These are the original tablets. They're the much smaller version. But then when I had them at home, they felt incomplete. So that's when I decided to in black and white with my codex. And now I do my codex purely in black and white. And around the same time, after Sandra's mural, I got Barbie Baker from the Marine Arts District approached me at the time. She said, do you want to do an electrical box? I said, of course. So I ended up doing one, and this is called Corpus Dreams. And it's always fun to tell the viewers, like, it's up to you to decipher what it says. So people reach out to me on social media and they're like, is this what it says? Some people get it right and some people get it wrong. So I'm very curious to see what you guys see. And this is just paying tribute to Corpus Christi. And yet again, keeping with my style, flat and bold colors. And then also around that time, I got to work for Stripes company. So I felt like a rock star because I got to do 3 mini murals for three different store locations, Seguin, Elgin, and in Houston, Texas. Oh wait, so I just remembered I have a mural on Houston. It just remembered right now. And then at that same time, then the Art Center reached out to me to say if I wanted to do a mural for them. So I was the first one to do a mural on this side of the wall, which was located across the street from Whataburger. Every time I see this picture, I'm not gonna lie, I get a little bummed because I wish these were still up. I wish these were permanent. I just loved cruising downtown and just seeing the pop of color. But yet again, these murals include at the bottom my codex. And these are more, in a way, they're kind of like self-portraits and they represent who I am. But, and then I think Sandra, this is 2017, right? I believe this was 2017, and me and Sandra, that's when we got together and we did a mural camp. So there are kiddos from one of the camps. And yet again, like Sandra said, this is a hidden gem. If you have the opportunity, go see it. it's so pretty in person. And then the following year, this was 2018, and me and Moni, that's when we first did the murals at La Palmera. So we had our own little room by MTV Nails, and they were all like, do you want to do a second mural? We're like, yeah, sure. And I laugh because in my head, I'm like, what were we thinking? But who cares? At the end of the day, we completed it, and it looks so awesome. But I love the butterfly personally because it is me and Moni. It is bilingual. That's how we are. So if you pay attention and look closely, there's some words in there in Spanish. And then so that's the full view. And then we also got the opportunity, and me and Moni call each other M&M, and we got to do some stuff for Hamlin Middle School, words of encouragement. And then Fresco's opened up, and this is the only mural that I traded for food because I love to eat. So every time I would go in there, they were like, don't worry about it. So I ate pretty good for about a year. And this is the only mural that I actually kind of did by myself. I was up on the scaffold, and I'm so short that I have to put another little like a little step stool on top of the scaffold just to reach the top. But I had a lot of fun. It was definitely a learning experience. And then that summer, right after Frescoes, I had pitched to the university and the center if I could teach a teen camp there. So I actually got to work and with Teens Building Tomorrow. So the teenagers got to help me bring these to life. And I'm so happy because I had a feeling that my time with the Garcia Center was going to end. So I definitely left a mark at the Garcia Center, and that is Mr. Antonio E. Garcia, and then that is my Latinos Unidos flag, and then the kids, and then the smaller children got to help me in the bathroom. But you can see kind of like before and after, just the power of what color does to a space. And then in 2019, me and Moni were also back at La Palmera, and we did love, peace, love, and unity. And it's a huge mural. I can't believe we did this in 6 weeks, but me and Moni got to spend 2 years in a row, basically spend the night at the mall. So that was fun. And then that fall, then all three of us got to work together, which was so much fun because we've been friends for a very long time. We've helped each other out. We love each other. We support each other, but we had never done anything together. So this is our first true La Muralistas collab. And it's elements of each other. We did this so fast in just a couple of days. And this is my newest mural for the Herman and Herman. This was so much fun because they gave me pretty much complete freedom, and that's what I like when a viewer or a customer, someone who reaches out to you, trusts you 100%, and that's when I feel you will get the best results from us. Trust us, we are professional. This is what we love to do. And we're only going to get you some cool results at the end, y'all. And at the bottom, there's some window installations that I designed. And I am not done with this mural because of COVID. I kind of stopped, and I don't want to be anywhere. So expect some color, hopefully, in the future on this side of the wall. And then finally, all this hard work led for before everything turned with COVID. This was on February 28, 2020. Unfortunately, Sandra couldn't attend, but Monique was there. And this is me receiving the Young Alumnus Award for TAMU CC. On my right is a sneak peek. It's all pixelated because I cannot show you yet the final design for the Hispanic Heritage Month A&M alumni collab that I did with them. Long story short, I designed it during Hurricane Hannah because I had no power for over 24 hours. So I'm kind of fortunate that happened because it got me to focus. I've been so unfocused with COVID. And then below, I said on social media that I would debut my new stickers. So those stickers will be available this coming Monday. I only did a limited edition of 25 each. It's my Texas Pride and my Tejas Unidos die cut stickers. So be on the lookout for that. My social media, Instagram, I'm very active, is @MitaMitaArt. If anybody wants to give me a follow, I'll put it in the chat. But that's basically all I have for today. There's the rest of my information. Thank you everybody for tuning in. And I have a feeling this won't be the last of La Muralistas. I feel like this is just a coupling of what we're going to be doing in the future. So thank you. Let me go ahead and give it back. Let me get out of here for stop share. And I'll go ahead and make Andrea the host again. And Andrea, thank you for always doing this. You work so hard. The Heritage Month event would not be possible without you, girl. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, you know, before we have questions, I just want to say, as someone born and raised in this city, it's really important to me to feature people in our community who are making a difference. And not only are they making a difference, you can see their impact. Okay, I think they're done. You can see their impact all around the city. If you've been to campus and you walk into the University Center where the ring statue is, you will see their mural on the wall. And we did that. I actually saw when Moni and Sandra were painting the YWCA mural, my daughter actually participated.
So funny.
And I got the idea to bring it to my dean and see if we could get it done on campus, and we made it happen. And I wanted to do it again this year, but we are in a pandemic, so we're just running with it. But yes, I definitely want to have these ladies back to bring more color to our campus. So that being said, we have a few minutes left. I completely understand if any of you have to leave. We're already hitting the hour mark, but if you have questions, feel free to unmute yourselves and ask them, or if you're not comfortable speaking, you can definitely put them in the chat. Do you have any questions for any of our muralistas?
I was gonna say, I have a question, Andrea, to Moni and Sandra. If you weren't doing art, what career do you think you were doing? Not teaching either. That doesn't count.
Well, I really love, I always actually kind of joke about it that if I wasn't an artist, or maybe one of these days when I decide not to be an artist, which I don't think is going to happen, but if I ever decided it wouldn't, I've always been really intrigued by geology, and I love science, so I think I'd probably go in to do something like that. But I really don't think, I think I've gotten so like immersed into the world of art that I'm just like, I don't think that'll happen. But if it wasn't for art, then yes, I'd probably be like a geologist or something. I'd love to learn more about like the earth, and I love rocks. So I mean, maybe even, I don't know, maybe even be an archaeologist. I don't know. I think that would be something I'd want to do.
Cool.
I mean, I was thinking the same answer, Monica, truly. It's gonna sound like I'm a copycat, but I mean, yeah, because I remember taking geology in college, and I really fell in love. I even kept the book. I didn't want to sell it back, but I just really don't see myself like doing anything else. I love teaching. You know, I love making art.
Yeah, I agree. How about you, Mayra?
That's funny that y'all say geology. Like, Sandra, that was your favorite. That was one of my favorite classes too. But I had always dreamed, I think an archaeologist, architect, or maybe have pursued the fashion design after all. Yeah.
Well, it's funny because Mayra and I both found out like that we both did fashion design first. So I went to school for fashion design, and I didn't. Then I came back to Corpus, and when I moved back to Corpus is when I decided to go full on art, just like artists. And so that's kind of funny how that we all have like this similar like interests, and I guess that's maybe why we all get along so well. That's funny, and I've never known that about y'all, which is really funny. That's awesome.
Do y'all see the question in the chat? It's from Karina. It says, what inspired you all to use your heritage for inspiration in your art?
Well, I have always felt identified, you know, like growing up in Mexico and growing up in a border town, because even when I moved from, you know, Mexico to United States, I moved to Laredo, which happens to be a border city. So is that, you know, just the interaction of hearing like in Laredo, if you ever go there, you know, it's all like Spanish speaking. So I love that. I really love my time when every time I go to Laredo, I feel like I'm truly myself. And then, but yeah, so I always try to use my heritage. Like it always comes. It's something that's just natural. It's based on my upbringing. Like I feel like my grandmother, like, oh, she's always like, you know, appearing on my paintings and on my
question.
murals. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Sandra. And actually, that was something that kind of happened. I guess it was maybe towards the end of my bachelor's degree that with Joe Pena was my painting professor, and he told me, he was like, you have to paint what you know. Like, what is it that you know, like, about, or the most about? What is something that is natural to you? And I'm just like, and so the first thing I thought of, I was like, well, I love to buy like shoes, and I love to buy like accessories, and I love to those things. So, and so that inspired me to start painting that, because, and he said, you have to paint what you know, because that's more personal to people. And honestly, since I've done that, I feel like it is. I think that if you paint what you know, or you do what you know, then it's so much more personal. And I think that more people can relate to that. And so I feel, even just as, because of the fact that those are things that I like to paint. I mean, I paint those things because they make me feel confident. They make me feel like special, and I feel like dressed up, and I walk like a little taller, you know, when I have my heels on and my, you know, my lipsticks on, and I hope that people like understand that. I don't want it to be, because I've had like discussions about how my art can be like materialistic, and it kind of shows it in a positive light instead of kind of this consumerism, you know, can be kind of like, well, you're like buying like all these things, why do you have to buy so much stuff? And it's like, I don't think about it like that. In my sense, it's really about like the things that make you feel confident, the things that make you feel like you. And so like Sandra, you know, she paints what she knows. She paints, you know, her heritage, and it's about like her culture. And so the things that I know are those things that I paint, and they are part of my culture. You know, like the red lipstick that I put in a lot of my work is because of my grandma. She would always put on lipstick, and I always couldn't wait for that moment that I could buy my own lipstick, you know. And so, and now I never leave the house without it. So, you know, it is very much personal to us to do those things. So yeah.
Yeah, and it's always just been a part of my life. Not a lot of people know this, but like growing up, we would be in Mexico every weekend. You know, when you're a kid, 3-4 years old, you have no choice but to be in Mexico. So I would always spend my summers in Mexico. I would cry. I would throw a fit because I didn't want to come back to the States and just wanted to be in Mexico. I just thought life was just more simpler, more tranquilo, more chill. And I would always see the similarities between America and Mexico, but I just love my heritage. And then I would always see the Aztec man and Aztec woman on the, you know, the calendars that you get at like panaderias and stuff like that, they're for free. But I always wanted to be the man, not the woman. And then also notice the symmetry and all the geometry and the pre-Columbian culture. So a lot of the stuff that I do, it just comes naturally. I don't have a preset plan, because of the way I think about it is it's in my blood. So whatever comes out is gonna come out. Perry has a question for you, girl. It's in the chat. He says, I'm a chef and I often have to wing it after I have a set plan. How often do y'all wing it when y'all have a plan?
Well, I honestly, that's kind of what always happens. Because I think that we go in with a plan, yes, but I mean, things change, and you can, I mean, I think Sandra and Mayra can like agree with me. I mean, when we're doing a mural, like if something comes up short, or we accidentally like measured something wrong, or, you know, well then you problem solve, and then you just kind of go with it. So yeah, you do kind of wing it. The cool thing though about it is that, you know, that's what we actually, I mean, like, you know, for instance, the one that Mayra and I did inside of the mall, the butterfly, I mean, yeah, we kind of came up with it as it was happening. So it was really awesome. I mean, that's what we live for, you know, those moments, you know, and the cool thing is that when our customers, our clients like trust us, that's the best part, because you know that they trust whatever our decisions are, and whatever decisions we make, I mean, they are usually pretty cool, because that's what we love to do. So I think that's that it happens more often than not. But it's cool. I mean, I think that's the best part, is the challenge of it.
Are there any other questions y'all want to ask these ladies? And it's completely true. I had no idea what the mural, the Viva Tamu CC, would look like. I just knew you all would come through. And every time I see it, I just can't believe it, because you show me the sketch, and then, you know, everybody came and painted, and I thought it looked great that day, and you added the details, and it pops every time you walk by. So I couldn't have imagined that. And you can see all of your aesthetics in it. It's a really cool thing. So definitely want to add more of those around campus once we are not in a pandemic. So stay tuned. So we have a question down here. Do y'all ever do art that you do not like? And if so, what do you do with it?
I don't, well, yes, I guess sometimes, but at the moment I'm liking it. What ends up happening, I guess, is that, you know, you're like, I mean, those are, I guess, personal things, but I don't ever feel like if it's not good enough for me, I won't post it, or I won't like show anybody. I also will keep on working on it until I actually like it. So a lot of times, like in the beginning of stuff, I don't like it, but I have to keep on going until I like it. And so it's just kind of a process. It's kind of actually a good process, because, you know, it's a filter that you have to kind of get through, and kind of go beyond what you think it's supposed to look like, and like kind of look at it with other eyes, you know. So at least that's for me. I don't usually, like I said, I won't show anybody unless I'm really done with it.
Well, in my case, I have been vulnerable before, because, you know, dealing with deadlines and all that, and I agreed to do something. Like, I remember one instance, like for Case Space, we did, it was, well, my painting was El Diablito, and I was trying a new technique, like some of the pearl paintings, I mean, it was looking good, but then I did something, I couldn't fix it, and I already had said I was gonna turn it in, so it was put on the show, but I was trying not to tell people, I don't have any paintings in here. Well, yeah, it has happened.
And I mean, we're so blessed that we get to kind of say yes and no to projects too. So I've said no to things that I don't want to do. But I have pretty much all of my artwork dating back to probably first grade. I have it hidden away, whether it was good or bad, and I just every now and like to just reminisce and look back to kind of remind me, like, I've always been an artist, like it doesn't matter, just keep going. And I always try to tell my students too, like, keep everything that you have, or try to put it in a booklet. So I said, when you're my age, when you're 33, you can look back and be like, oh, I did this in 2020. So I really hope some of the kids get to keep their stuff.
Oh yeah, I agree. Yeah, well, kind of to add on to that, yes, I have actually looked back at some like work that I used to think was really good, and I'm just like, oh my goodness. So yes, just keep on going. That's what we encourage. Keep on going. Don't give up.
Okay, there's another question in the chat. So it says, if you can, in 3 words, how would you describe your aesthetic?
3 words. Oh man.
Geometric, colorful, and maybe bold.
Those are good. I was like, I thought Sandra was going to talk. Are you going to?
Well, you go for it.
Okay, because I was still kind of thinking about it, but.
Okay, well, I guess, well, I guess for me it's a balance of, like, I'm always thinking a balance between, you know, something that's representational, and I love patterns and colors. So it's always a balance of those 3.
Mine, I was trying to kind of narrow it down. I really love surreal art. So, and I've actually been trying to do that more often now. So I would have to say surreal, colorful, and shiny. because there's always something shiny in there. I love reflective objects, and so I always try to incorporate that into everything that I do.
Good. Okay, we can do one more question and then we will wrap this up. Who would be your favorite artist to work with, alive or dead? From Perry.
Ooh.
Yeah, mine would be dead. I actually replied to Perry. I love Gustav Klimt. I just love how his aesthetics is. He's the one who painted all these beautiful figures with all the golden colors and patterns everywhere. So he has been one of my biggest influences. Plus, you know, he was very handsome too. So.
That would be a plus.
Yes.
I might have two. One, I have always loved like pop art, and James Rosenquist is like one of my favorites because I loved how like large and how he mixed all these like pop objects together, which is again kind of stuff I like to do and that I am always attracted to when I even see paintings. And so I'd love to have worked with him. But then an artist that I guess is more current is Marilyn Minter. I love the stuff that she does, and I love how like realistic her paintings look. They look like photographs. And I would love to get to that point one day. I really love just like the quality and of course like the things that she paints is a lot of stuff that I paint too. She does like, you know, really like pearls and like these very like beautiful kind of grotesque but gorgeous like females. I mean, just really beautiful. And so I would love to even just see how she works and learn what she does and how she does it and kind of get inside her mind a little bit, I guess.
Would expect me to say Frida, but I would want to chill with the father of optical illusion, so Victor Vasarely. He had his own like alphabet, like plastic alphabet. Yeah, I would just like to see his work and teach me some color theory. So maybe some Joseph Albers too. And if I had to choose a muralist, so I'm cheating, but if I had to choose a muralist, I would probably want to do Orozco and chill with him in Mexico. Mm-hmm. Not now. I would hop in a time machine and go back in time. Mm-hmm.
He's dead.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, everyone. We appreciate you spending your Saturday with us. This concludes our event. I believe the muralists put their Instagram handles and information in the chat. And so if you want to check them out, go ahead. They're always posting their stuff. But thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank y'all. Bye.
Thank you.